In today's episode, I interview Alexia, PharmD candidate at FAMU. She shares her journey to starting her lash brand combined with her love for science. Her brand went viral overnight, but quickly came to a halt when her Instagram page was taken down. She discusses the lessons she's learned from trademarking, pivoting as needed, and balancing pharmacy school along with running a business. Get ready to have your cup poured into. Hi, Alexia. Thank you so much for being a guest on Pour Into My Cup today.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
So, the first thing I wanted to ask you is who are you? How did you get to where you are in this journey?
Well, my name is Alexia Gillis. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I currently attend Florida A&M University. I am a doctor of pharmacy candidate in their pharmacy program. And I'm sorry, what was the last part?
How did you get to where you are in this journey?
Okay, so one thing's for certain, I'm a makeup addict. I love, love, love makeup. I actually recently went on a haul yesterday and bought makeup that I've been looking for probably about 6 months, and I just got it all yesterday. I was so happy. But I love makeup and I love, love, love lashes. That's like my go-to. The lashes take my look from like an 8 to 1800. So I really just combined like my experience working in a pharmacy. I was interning at a pharmacy all last summer. Also, my experience with being in school about what I'm learning and my passions, and I developed my business that way.
That's so beautiful. I love the fact that it sounds so hard for some people, but it sounds so simple that you just combine what you're doing career wise with something that you're passionate about and you were able to come up with this design and framework for your business.
Yes, and I truly I literally love, and it also my bowels is my favorite color. So I just feel like everything about my business is so personal, and everything about my product design and my packaging design is so personal that it's perfect for me.
So I did want to ask, being that everyone is trying to like start a side hustle, or have a small business, I know for some people that may be in your position where they're like, okay, I want to start a business, I want to sell hair, or I also too want to sell lashes, but they see as, oh my gosh, there's like so many people already doing the same thing. What encouraged you to still do it and not let what other people are doing stop you?
So basically, what encouraged me to just go for it was that I know it was something that has never been done before. Also, it's something that I could relate to. I knew what it was like working at a pharmacy. I knew how the pill bottles look. I know what it's like to wear makeup and apply lashes. So what really kind of catapulted me was that, oh, this is different. This is new. I like how it look. I'm pretty sure everybody else would like how it look. And I really had to like sit down and pray on it and step out on a leap of faith just to pray in a God, like just to pray that my business flourish. And God gave it to me 10 times fold. So my advice with them would be to look into yourself and see what are you passionate about. Like, what do you have experience in? What are you passionate about? What do you love? Don't just do it just to make money. Because honestly, I love what I'm doing now. I mean, making money is a plus, but I literally love what I'm doing.
No, definitely. That's the key. Like, I feel like that's my goal. I always said this growing up is that it doesn't matter like what I'm doing. I just want to be happy doing it. And of course, like you said, a plus is making the money part.
Yeah, and I feel like when people just go into something just to make money, it doesn't be your absolute best because money is
Mhm.
on the line, not customer satisfaction.
I agree. And I think you lose like interest and you lose the motivation to keep going and you're just not into it and it shows.
Right,
Like people in our generation, we can tell when someone's doing something because they care versus like, okay, I'm doing this because I gotta collect the check.
right. And it shows. You have to make sure that whatever you're doing is personalized to you and it's something that you'll know you'll be able to commit to. I love beauty. So I knew I was going to be able to commit to beauty. But like, let's say I want to start selling shirts. I'm not into fashion. That was going to fail. I would have just been doing it to make $25 on the shirt.
So your business, in case people don't know, your business did go pretty viral. So I feel like everyone listening to this will know. And with that, I think the fact that your business is so unique, in the way that the packaging is, and it gets people like engaged with, health, pharmacy, drugs, all that stuff. There has been a lot of copycatters of your brand. What has that taught you in the fact of like trademarking and just other business ventures that maybe you did think about but you didn't realize it would affect your business so soon?
Well, it's not the first business, quote unquote, I started, but it's the first business that I had like all my ducks in a row in. Like I have my LLC, my EIN, my trademarks are on the UPSTO registry. My bad. I always get them letters confused. But I didn't expect it to go as big as it did. So it was kind of like playing a game of catch up from the beginning. I would advise everybody, if you do have a specific name for your business, definitely go on to the US patent, UPSTO, go onto their trademark search and make sure that your name isn't conflicting with a name that already exists, because you will receive a cease and desist if somebody else already has their name as a registered trademark. So I'll first let them do that, and then I will also tell them, if you see that it's not, I will go ahead and try to fill your trademark application out as soon as you can, because I mean, what is it going to hurt? You can fill it out yourself, or you get a trademark lawyer to do it. I didn't quite know about trademarks, so I had got a trademark lawyer. So that was that.
Wow, that's really good information to know. I've like same as you, I've started businesses. Unfortunately, I haven't been successful, and I think like it's taught me a lot, which is good. But that's good information to know for people who are thinking about starting a business, especially if it conflicts with trademarking and things like that. So, what have you learned so far from having a business?
I learned that you take way more losses than what you do gains when you first start out. It was just like, so when I first began my business, as you know, it went viral on Twitter, and then my follow account for my business IG had rose from like 23 people, which was basically just my friends and family, to 10K in one night. And then through the first 3 weeks of my business being started, it got upwards to like 56, almost 60K followers, because it was just everywhere at that point. So, as you know, when you launch like when you post about your business, I have an e-commerce business. When I post about it on social media, of course, social media is going to be your number one way for people to know about your product. So actually what happened was 3 weeks after I launched my business and my Instagram following rose, which of course was like the number one way people were knowing about my brand, they deactivated my page. So that's why I'm saying you take way more losses than what you do gain. So they deactivated my Instagram page, and I basically had to start all over. I had to take my business from an Instagram platform to a Twitter platform, and I kind of had to integrate my personal Twitter and my business. But now I'm getting to a point where I'm able to separate like my personal Twitter and my business, which is good. So that was one of the losses I had to take, because a lot of people knew about my business from Instagram. And then when it got deactivated, as you know, there was a lot of copycats. So it was kind of hard for them to really figure out which one was the real one.
Yeah, I definitely get that, because that was going to be my follow up question. Because one, I do want to say, I remember the weekend I was home in Miami, and I feel like either someone shared with me your business, or Black Twitter just made your business go even more viral, and that's how I saw it. And I followed it. I remember that night I went to bed, and you were like a little under 10K. I woke up, and I think by that point you were at 10K. Then I checked again later that night, you were at like 42K. I was like, whoa, her business. I was like, Black people are coming together and supporting her. It just made me so happy. Um, I just want to say that. But I do want to say the part about Twitter, I mean not Twitter, but Instagram deactivating your account. So on one, are you saying that they deactivated it because of other copycatters and they couldn't tell which one was which, or was it because of how quickly your brand grew? Like, did that make them, because I know sometimes when people post or comment too much or like too much stuff, they'll like put you in like Instagram jail or freeze you.
No, man. I wish that was the case. Instagram deactivated my account due to false copyright allegations, which is why I'm trying to tell people to get y'all ducks in a row.
Mm,
The name that I had copyrighted, somebody else tried to copyright it the same time as me. Then they sent both
mm,
people to Instagram to get my page shut down. When I reached out to Facebook, because you know Facebook owns Instagram, when I reached out to Facebook about the issue, letting them know like this wasn't, you can't infringe on something that nobody owns. So when I reached out to Facebook to let them know, and I sent them the same documentation that I know the complaining party sent them, they told me they couldn't do anything. So I felt like at that point they were being biased, because nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to trademark, you can't infringe on something that you don't own. So
I definitely get where you're coming from. Yeah.
They didn't want to give it to me. They didn't want to give me my page back. But at that point, I wasn't even I was concerned about it. But then a couple days later, I was like, what am I upset for? Because literally nothing stopped my sales. If my sales was, because I use Shopify, so you could tell where where people are getting a direct link to your site. When I tell you they shut it down on January 16th, I let my Twitter following know, because my Twitter followers actually went from like 1,500 followers to like 18K within that same time period.
That's crazy.
So I let my people on Twitter know, because my business went viral on Twitter. I was like, Twitter is the easiest way to spread news. I let them know that my page got deactivated, and then I started plugging in my website on Twitter. So now the number one source of people getting to my website isn't through any social media. They just go straight there. So that's why I was like, that's a loss. But because of that, I felt like it helped me grow. Like it helped my website itself grow. Because now you don't have to go through any other social media outlet. You already know what the URL is.
Yeah, and I think, like, of course you should have the social media accounts for your brand, but considering your situation, that unfortunately isn't able to happen, especially Instagram. But I think, like, one with trends that I follow, Twitter is easier for you to grow your business, especially how people go like, oh, I'm blah, 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 and I'm from here. This is my business. Please help me, like, grow my brand,
Mm-hmm.
That has helped a lot of people grow their brand. And I know times where like Twitter goes down or Instagram goes down, everyone keeps saying make sure you have a website for your business, because when these social media, our third party websites our social media platforms go down, you have to have somewhere else to send your people,
Yes.
your customers.
Yes.
So it works out in the end for you. You just unfortunately, I feel like you unfortunately had to, it's not unfortunate. It's not unfortunate. It's kind of a good thing that it happened. I feel like it's just that you were forced to get to that point sooner than most businesses.
Yes, I felt like with launching my business, I really had to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I'm learning every month. My 6-month anniversary of my business is coming up on June
Woo!
20th. So I
Wow.
feel like I've been learning a lot more, and I don't want to just like release information to people and I don't have the full scope. So I've been learning more and more and more, and I eventually want to get to a point where I could sit down and record a video. But like I said, I be getting so nervous when I have to like talk. I really want to get to a point where I can sit down and record a video and let everybody know, like, this is what I did wrong and this is what I want you to do right.
Yeah, I feel like you can easily do like a whole business video series, because there's so many different lessons. Like just hearing you talk, I'm learning so much, because I do background, like you said earlier before we got on the call, I do like publicist work. So I'm always learning like how to help better myself, to help my clients and just people, and just learn like what's happening with the trends and just with people with their businesses. So you sound like you learned a lot in just 6 months.
I did. Actually, the most I learned was that I'm really good at marketing. Like I could really market anything that deals with my brand. I'm great at marketing it. Anything that has to push a certain, not narrative per se, but like say something about my brand in a way that I know people want to interact with. I'm really good at that. So that was a plus that came out of my business. I learned that I'm great at marketing, which was like a hidden talent. Like how else would you learn that besides actually doing it? My major has nothing to do with marketing.
I was gonna say, and yeah, so that's kind of like one of my next questions is, so you probably, before you started your business, what was like your ideal of, okay, once I start this business, this, that, and the third is gonna happen? Like how did what you thought was gonna happen and what actually happened, how did that change? Like if you set a plan or your goals for your business, how did that change once the business started and all this stuff happened with Instagram and copyright and trademarking?
So one of the reasons why I really want to start my business is to be able to support myself. I am going to FAMU, but I'm not from Florida. So of course, at one point I was paying out of state tuition fees, and I think I still have to pay them. I'm not sure. But my whole point was to try to help my mom out with paying my out of state tuition fees. So I was all like, okay, I get to do what I love, but I also get to help out my family. So I was all like, okay, well, even if I sell like, 5 lashes, I could help her and give like $100 towards my tuition and stuff like that. So that definitely like kickstarted me wanting to do this. So then after I started my business and I seen how big it had got, my goals changed. So I was able to accomplish that one goal within like a month. So I'm able to support myself now. I'm able to help my mom out. And then once I accomplished that goal, then a whole new set of goals just started popping in my head. Like I want to be an Ulta one day. That's one of my biggest goals. Ulta, Sephora, or a big name beauty store. I want all my products. Actually, I'm gonna extend my brand to not just a lash line, but I want a full blown cosmetic brand. Because as I said, I'm a lover of makeup. Lash is just my favorite.
Mhm.
But I want a full blown cosmetic brand. I eventually want to see my brand, and I'm going to see my brand in Ulta or Sephora.
Okay. That's good. I think those are good goals to have. And I can't wait to see your brand inside of Sephora and Ulta, especially Black brands, you know. You
Yeah,
want to see more, you want to see our people inside of these big corporations.
yeah.
So
And then I'm also like a big lover of Black beauty brands. I do. If I'm wearing makeup 9 out of 10 times, I'm wearing a Black beauty brand. Beauty Bakery, I love. Crayon Case, Juvia's Place, Oma
mhm.
Beauty. I'm gonna support them to the fullest because those are the people who are supporting me. Is like the Black community is supporting me as well. So I just feel like it's only right that I spend Black.
No, it's definitely that's I know there's a lot of people I felt like this year, even last year, where they were like they want to spend as much as they can black wise. And even for the month of like Black History Month is like buy black only, just so that way, you know, we're supporting more of our people. And we're even learning that there's products out there that we don't have to always shop at Amazon for or things like that, you know? We can
Right.
easily support our people and still get the same products and even better sometimes.
And when you shop Black, we pour money back into the community. Like when you shop with the whole thing is going on right now with the Minnesota Freedom Fund, with the people who are protesting, I'm pouring money back into my community. I'm giving to these charities. I'm giving to the people who I know are on the front lines protesting because unfortunately I can't be out there. I broke my foot like 2 weeks ago. But I'm making sure that all of my friends and classmates who I know that are out there protesting, y'all have water, y'all have masks, are y'all okay? Do y'all need milk just in case y'all get tear
Mhm.
gas? Just let me know what y'all need and I'll send it. You
Yes.
know, when spending Black, we put our money back into our community. You don't see that everywhere, and we need that as a people.
I agree. And I think the point you just made, I think that's a very important point. One, some people are like disagreeing with the riots and things that are happening. I completely understand where you're coming from, but I feel like, you know, do what's gonna best do however we're all upset and we're all angry, but do whatever method is gonna help you. Don't discredit someone if that's the choice that they make. And
Right.
if you feel like, okay, I'm not gonna go out and protest, fine. The suggestion you gave is perfect. Donate money, make sure your friends have water or masks or whatever resources they need so that way they can be out there for you and for other people. And another point you made is we have to pour back our money into Black communities. White people, Asians, Hispanic, they all support each other with no problem. Anytime I go into a Hispanic restaurant, it is filled with Hispanic people. You go into a white business, it's filled with white people. Asians, they all support each other. But I feel
Mhm.
like that's something that we as Black people really have to do more of is when we support this is my point of view. Others may have a different point of view, but I feel that when we support each other, it's, hey, can I get a discount? Can I get that for free? Oh,
Yeah.
you selling that? Oh, I can find it here for this price. And it's like, okay, like we have to support each other. Of course, if you see a product where maybe the branding or the packaging or something could be better, then why don't you connect that person with resources so that way they can improve upon it? Don't just down them and like say, oh, your product's this, that, and the third. We have to support each other and not, you know, talk about each other behind each other's back. We have to support and come together.
We do. We really, really do. And I don't think people realize the bigger picture in us supporting each other. Like, if we continue to support each other, like you said, we're going to be the only ones. Well, not the only ones, but we're going to be the ones in our establishment, running our establishment, able to elevate our community to the next level.
I
Like
agree.
when we go to nail shops, it's rarely any other person but Asians working there. And that's
Yeah.
that's a bad thing, but I just feel like we need to sort of mimic their structure to each other. They're ready to support each other. But I feel like we try to give each other a hard time sometimes, and that's not necessarily the case.
I definitely agree with that statement. I see what you mean with this, with the mimicking the Asian structure, and then
Mm,
of course like adapting and finding whatever structure is going to eventually work for us. But like you said, we have to support each other. Like that's the only way we're going to advance and really be able to, stick together and grow in our businesses.
yes, ma'am.
So side conversation about Black Lives Mattering. Back to a little bit of business talk. What is one thing you think people don't think about when starting a business that you think people should know?
Hmm. Okay, so I will have to go back to this. Of course, I don't feel like they think about protecting their brand, which is trademarking and making sure your brand is registered and making sure nobody can use your brand's name or anything from your brand. Right now, I'm still dealing with sites that have my previous logo, have pictures of my product, and they're scamming customers. I get several emails a day of sites doing that. And that's because my brand hit the ground running so fast. It was like, boom, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I am in the process of protecting my brand. And once all that is legitimized, hopefully everything will get shut down. But definitely protecting your brand. That's what they don't think about, because they think that maybe they think it might not be as big as it could be, or maybe it's not that big a deal, but it's a huge deal. And I'm a great example of that.
No, definitely. I think like it's a mix of like preparing so much that you over prepare and you just need to like do it, and then once you're in these situations you'll figure out how to deal with it. But it's also making sure that, but like preparing for certain things that you won't have to deal with on the back end. So how you said, like making sure your business name doesn't conflict with someone else's business name, that's a definitely a very important point. But doing the things that you think you will need, but on the back end, once the business is launched, figuring things out as they happen. So I know that we're still in COVID quarantine. You started your business. Was it Christmas? I think it was Christmas
Yeah.
time.
December
Yes.
27th, 2 days after Christmas.
Yes, that explains why. Okay, yes, I was definitely home in Miami. So
Mhm.
you started your business a little bit after Christmas. So this year, I guess you probably really didn't get the full like work life balance, like balancing like school and your business, and like maybe friends and partying. But the time you did have with it, how did you balance all three, or all of your life and your business and school? And then also like now during quarantine, how do you still balance it and keep yourself like pushing forward and not get like, you maybe want to sit at home and just have a Netflix day. How do you balance it all?
Ooh, so with school, business, family life, personal life, that was a struggle. I wish I could say I had it good. I wish I could say I do the blueprint, but I'm gonna still have to work on it. um, it was a lot. Being in pharmacy school, you have to know so much information in a short amount of time. And you're probably going to school. Okay, so we was going to school from like 9 o'clock to probably about 3. Okay, you got to come home. You have to take a nap because you're going to be up studying to 3 o'clock in the morning just for you to bounce back up and go back to school the next day. So it was hard dealing with that, me having to not only study and prepare myself for the next day of school and be knowledgeable about what I'm talking about, but to also have to come home, make sure I fill all my orders, drop them off at the post office, make sure I'm replying to DMs, make sure I'm checking my emails, make sure I'm still having a presence on social media, make sure I have pictures of my product, make sure I'm having supplies. Like you see how it's a lot. It was a lot. So
Yeah. You're basically, because you don't have like teammates. You're doing everything all yourself.
it's a one-woman show. So I felt
Yeah.
like I was driving myself to the ground. Like I was driving myself to the ground. I felt like I wasn't checking on my mental health as much as I should have. I was just on go, like go, 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 go. And especially like balancing it with family and stuff, making sure, because I'm in Florida, but my people do stay in New Orleans. So making sure I'm actually having to go back, spend time with them while also maintaining my business, taking my supplies with me wherever I go so I can ship out on command. That's something. And it was just a lot. So school, it was a lot. I know I better managed it by sleeping less and going out less, but that had to take the back burner because school and business was more important. School and my business was more important.
Oh,
When
no. So go ahead. Oh, did you have more you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say when it came to COVID, that's when school was more so ending for us. When we switched to virtual school, it was way easier for me to listen to my lectures on my laptop with my cell phone mute on Zoom while filling my orders. That was way more easier. But that was about it. And then now that school is over, but we're still in quarantine, I just been able to keep myself busy and really grow my brand and brainstorm on what other things I want to see coming next.
That definitely does sadden me that you said you had to give up sleep to make sure, you were staying on top of school and work. But when you're in this time of the first year of the business, especially, early on, you want to make sure you're still keeping up with like customer service and like, your customers are happy and then also maintaining your grades. And, I get that, but that saddens me. But I hope you are finding the balance, which is one of the questions I do want to ask. This is a mental health podcast, is how do you take time and say like, okay, this is the balance of it's 6 o'clock. This is like my endpoint. I'm done with work. I'm done with school. I'm going to focus on me. Maybe that's you like having a glass of wine. Maybe you're like indulging in like your favorite TV show or you're having a bath. What self-care practices have you like incorporated during this time of starting the business and school, or have you not found that balance yet?
Okay, so just to make sure that I'm okay mentally, after I started my business, which was on the 27th, on the 28th, I had shut all my notifications off. So unless I'm on Twitter or on Instagram, I'm not getting those notifications. One, that's because the packaging of my product was a bit controversial. So I used to get a lot of emails, not emails, but a lot of DMs and tweets telling me about myself. People who don't know me from a can of paint was telling me I was a horrible person, and I was like, they just lashes. Like, I need you to chill out. So that I'm an introvert, which is probably why I sound so nervous. I'm an introvert, so I'm not really used to mass attention, and that was a lot on me. Like the first month or so, I was just crying all the time because it was so stressful. Um, it was so stressful, and it's kind of hard hearing people who don't know you from a can of paint judge your character based on a product. But I definitely had to unplug. So I had limited my time on social media greatly. If I wasn't talking about my business, I wasn't on them. My notifications are still off to this day. I don't think I'll ever turn them back on. And um, yes, a glass of wine, like on the weekends, because I couldn't really drink wine during the school week. I was gonna go to sleep. So at that point, I was too tired. But on the weekends, it definitely helped me. I do feel like I'm in a better place now. I'm more equipped to handle negative comments about what I have going on. And I'm just in a better headspace overall. Like, I'm less stressed. It's great.
No, I definitely understand that. While like my brands are obviously not as big as yours, I do know like when you put yourself out there, it's always you take the risk of taking on in people's comments and opinions on your life that, like you said, they don't even know you from a can of paint. And that's where you really, I think we think, or at least I thought my mental health was really in check, but I think that's where my mental health was really put to the test. Is you really have to know that, one, this is probably a bot. Two, this is probably someone who unfortunately has their own problems with their selves, whatever that may be, and they look for people who are happy or who are like successful to bring down. And it's a struggle. I don't know the secret sauce. I'm continuously trying to find that for myself, but it's really the struggle to like you said, turn off your notifications, take a step back from social media, focus on the bigger picture. My brand is doing good. Where are the good comments at? Where are the people who support me and who really want to see me succeed? And even if they don't know me and they're still being supportive, I'm going to focus on those people and just like ignore the negatives. I don't fully know. I know sometimes bigger brands, celebrities, or influencers, they'll entertain the negative comments, because I do get it. Sometimes seeing that all the time can be annoying, and you're just like, that's it. I'm not gonna let you keep saying this narrative about me. But it's still find the balance of, am I just gonna ignore it, or am I gonna like maybe speak up here and there, or just learn that this person is very sad in their life.
Yeah. I definitely, and it was a, because you have to find a way to speak up in the most appropriate way. You can't just go out and
Definitely.
say anything. You have to maintain a professional demeanor at the end of the day.
Definitely.
I'm the owner behind this brand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy for me to maintain a professional demeanor. As I said, I'm in a professional program. All we have to do, we dress up in like we going to work every day, like an office. So they teach us a lot about professionalism and things like that. So it's really not that hard for me to maintain a professional demeanor. That's just who I am as a person. I'm not mean, just out there. I'm very nice. And I think that was my problem. I was just, when you're a very nice person, people not usually mean to you. This will sound very elementary and very simple, but like when you're a very nice person, people not usually mean to you. So it was kind of different for me to see comments from people who I don't know just bashing me as a person. I'm like, you don't even know me. So but I have learned to deal with that better. And I'm glad to know we're on the same page because it's not an overnight thing when it comes to mental health.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that just because I know, like, when I was younger, I was definitely probably considered like a very nice person. And I just tried to stay like super positive. Even times where I wanted to be negative, I'm like, let me just, stay positive just because I don't want to be that negative energy. But I think like over time, I definitely had to build a backbone and just be more vocal with like, certain things that, yeah, I'm going to be a nice person, but I'm also not going to let you think you could treat me any type of way. But I think you made a good point that you want to speak up for yourself, but you want to make sure that you're not allowing this person to pull you out of your character,
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
that all could be written in the form of an email or a disclaimer on a website.
So I did want to ask you about school. I didn't really get the full title of what program you're exactly in, but I do want to know more about your school life, what you're working towards, and I have a follow up question. Let's just first start off with what program are you in, and what degree are you trying to obtain?
Well, I am a doctor of pharmacy candidate, so I am trying to obtain my PharmD. And with that, I really want to I really was looking into infectious disease, which is basically the study of infectious disease. And it's specifically in that, epidemiology, which is basically the presence of disease across a specific population. Um, Microbiology and bacteria, viruses,
So
any.
would that count like coronavirus or no?
Yes, it would. It
That's
would.
okay. Okay.
So things like that interest me the most. So that's the field that I was hoping to go into.
Okay. So now because you just keep saying hoping, so the follow-up my question is now since you started your business, has that changed the trajectory of like your career goals? Like do you of course we don't have to have it all figured out. You can always change the plan, but do you see yourself like maybe trying to balance the both or do you see yourself like seeing where Lash Pharmacy goes and like maybe just doing that full time?
See, that's the question that I've been debating with myself with because of course I am in school to get my pharmacy degree, but I don't know and it's not like if I won't utilize my degree is do I want to utilize my degree to do another entrepreneur thing in pharmacy or do I want to actually continue on with infectious disease and work for like the CDC? But I got my issues on that, presenting the whole COVID situation. So the CDC was kind of out of there for me.
No, I definitely get that. Just because I commend you and like all my friends and family who are like in the health field and like frontline people as well. Just because it's with this time, I think like we've been through obviously similar situations with like smallpox and swine flu and all that stuff. But I think coronavirus was just a different level. Like none of us expected it to go like this. This was all us experiencing it for the first time. But seeing coronavirus happen, it's the fear of okay, the next time something happens, it's going to be 10 times worse.
Yes.
So I definitely commend you whatever decision you decide, and I hope you pick what's going to be best for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So a PharmD, that means are you getting like your PhD in pharmacy or no? Is that your master's?
Um, it's like a So your PharmD, you're a doctor of pharmacy. So I'm gonna be Dr. Gillis, but I'm a doctor of pharmacy, which is basically a doctor of medicine.
Yes, Black doctors matter. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
For anyone who may be interested in that field, and anything in the health field, what advice do you have for them? What preparation did you do to get into this program?
You have to know how to study. You can't just, because a lot of people come from high school like me. I was an honor student in all honors and AP classes in high school, and then stuff just came easy to me. So I never was fully equipped to learn how to study. Because with the pharmacy program, you have 2 years of pre-professional, which is your quote unquote undergrad. Even during that time, I'm not studying for real because it just comes easy. However, when you get to the program, you have to dedicating 6 to 8 hours or 6 to 10 hours studying, and that's in one day. So you got to fit sleep into that, you have to fit class into that, and you have to fit your personal time into there. So you really have to learn how to study, what study method works best for you so that you can recall something as soon as somebody asks it to you. Because it's not just enough to know enough to pass a test. Like, you have to be able to recall, or you gonna get lost.
Yeah, I definitely remember a friend of mine's, he was studying for nursing to get his BS in. And I remember he basically, I don't know if this is something you had to do, but I remember he basically like just exiled me. He was like, anytime like, hey, let's hang out. No, I have to study. Hey, let's do this. No, I have to study. And I'm just like, what? And I get it now because I have so many friends in the health field that you really have to focus and study for this profession. Not saying other professions you don't have to do the same, but with my profession, it's not like that. So I definitely give you guys all the props because that takes a lot of like work life balance, and it's more just work and studying school balance. It's like life doesn't even exist, it feels like, for people in the health field, especially the higher you go.
Yes, and you have to remember, at the end of the day, you have somebody's life on the line. If you mix
Mm-hmm.
up one thing, that could cost somebody their life. So you really have to know what you know and know what you're talking about.
Definitely important. So what is the next steps in your program? Like when will your program be over? How does all of that work out?
It'll be over in 2023. I'll be on my rotations from like May of 2022 to May of 2023. So I'll have a couple more semesters of actual schooling left, and then I go on my rotations. And then after your rotations, you go and you graduate. You degree. Free the degree.
So that is all the questions that I have. Is there anything that I didn't ask and you just want to say?
Um, be on the lookout for more products launching soon. Um, Make sure that you visit the website and subscribe to Bowmail. In honor of my 6-month anniversary coming up, I am doing a $100 product raffle. As soon as you go on the website, you'll see a drop down thing that'll say win $100. You enter your email to win, and the winner will be picked on June 27th. Between that time, I'm hoping to have new product launches, new lash descriptions are coming out, as well as new antidote glitters. And I'm excited to show you guys what I have in the pharmacy.
Yes. And do you want to share with people like how they can find you? What's the website? And then if you want to share the social media handles that you do have.
Okay, so you can find me. I have 2 URLs connected to my website. So you can find me at www.shop-pharmacy.com or www.gobopharmacy.com. That's GEAUXBEAUX pharmacy.com. On Instagram, you can find us at GoBoPharmacy. I'm not .com at Instagram. On Instagram, you can find us at Gobo Pharmacy. Same as Facebook, Gobo Pharmacy, and on Twitter, it's The Lash Pharmacy. And you can also find me, and I have links to everything that I have on Instagram and Twitter at So Alexia, SEAUX Alexia.
Mm-hmm. And the last question I like to ask people, because the name of the podcast is Pour Into My Cup, do you feel that your cup is half empty or half full?
It's definitely half full. I always look at life on the brighter side. I would definitely suggest that everyone look at life that way too, because you're you're better now than what you were before. You have to aspire to be better than what you were before. So if you always looking at life and you're looking at the bad things, you'll always feel like your cup is half empty. However, when you look at the good things and the good things in your life that you should be grateful for, even little things like waking up in the morning, be grateful for that because somebody didn't have that.
Definitely. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really do appreciate it, especially those last few words.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed it.
Can't wait until the next episode to get your cup filled? Follow us on our social media platforms for daily inspiration at Pour Into My Cup. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to stay updated when new episodes are released. Leave a review and pour into someone else's cup by sharing the podcast. And I have to ask, is your cup half empty or half full? Peace, love, happiness. Rashiba signing off.